Hi, everyone. It is Monday, February 16th, and here are 3 cybersecurity stories breaking within the last 24 hours. First up, cryptocurrency holders are being targeted by a surprisingly old school style attack. Threat actors are sending physical letters through the postal service pretending to be from Trezor or Ledger. If you're not familiar with these brands, they're the 2 largest manufacturers of cryptocurrency hardware wallets out there. Anyways, the letters claim that there's a critical security issue with the recipient's hardware wallet that requires immediate action. The letters also use official-looking branding and double down using urgent language to ramp up the pressure and ultimately tricking the recipients into giving up their wallet recovery phrases. The recovery phrase is essentially the master key. Anybody who has that can drain the wallet completely. And if you know anything about crypto transactions, there's no way to reverse them. So good luck trying to get your money back. Now, victims are directed to the fake websites that perfectly mimic Trezor and Ledger sites. When the users enter their 12 or 24 word recovery phrase thinking they're securing their wallet, well, no, they're actually handing their complete access of their cryptocurrency holdings directly to the attackers. Now, what makes this attack particularly concerning to me here is the blend of physical and digital social engineering. I mean, most people expect crypto scams to come either through email or text messages, not their actual mailbox. Now, Trezor has confirmed on their official blog that they would never send unsolicited email asking customers to verify recovery phrases or update wallet security. So if you own a Trezor or Ledger wallet and you receive any sort of physical mail claiming to be from these companies, just know it's a scam, okay? Don't visit the websites listed in the letter, and for the love of God, don't ever enter your recovery phrase. The best approach here is to report it to the actual company through their official website. Okay, this just goes to show, folks, even in the digital age, scammers are going back to the basics because, well, snail mail still carries that air of legitimacy that emails and texts don't have anymore. All right, moving on to our next story for today. Mac users are being targeted in a sophisticated malware campaign that weaponizes Claude AI. Researchers discovered that attackers are abusing Claude's artifact feature combined with Google Ads to deliver Infostealer malware to macOS systems. So let me try to explain how it works, okay? The campaign specifically targets developers and technical users who are more likely to copy and execute code snippets. Users searching for technical solutions on Google are shown these malicious ads that appear to offer helpful code or scripts when clicked. These ads then lead to what look like legitimate Claude AI generated content. The way I understand it is that Claude artifacts are designed to display code, documents, technical solutions in a clean, shareable format. So anyways, the code appears to solve whatever technical problem the user was searching for, but embedded within the AI response are commands that download and execute Infostealer malware when the user runs the code. This malware is specifically designed to steal credentials, browser data, cryptocurrency information, and other sensitive files from the infected Macs. So for me, what makes this so nasty is the trust factor being abused. Claude AI is made by Anthropic and is seen to be one of the more reliable and safe AI tools out there. And let's be honest here, Mac OS users have historically faced less malware threats than traditional Windows users. So they tend to be a little less suspicious of code that appears to come from trusted AI sources. So Anthropic has not yet issued a public statement about this abuse on their platform, but the company's security team is aware of the issue. So if you're using Claude or any AI assistant for technical help, never blindly copy and execute code without thoroughly reviewing it line by line. Even if the code appears to come from legitimate sources, it can contain hidden malicious commands. And always verify the source of Google Ads before clicking, especially when they're offering technical solutions that seem a little too convenient. All right, let's move on to our last story of the day. Luxury outerwear brand Canada Goose is investigating a major data breach after the notorious hacking group ShinyHunters claimed to have stolen more than 600,000 customer records. They leaked data that supposedly includes names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, and payment-related information from past transactions. Yeah. Y'all have heard me talk about ShinyHunters before. They're one of the most active and notorious data extortion groups out there. They're responsible for breaches at Microsoft, Ticketmaster, AT&T, and a ton of others. The group typically steals large data sets and then either sells them on dark web markets or leaks them publicly to pressure companies into paying ransoms. Anyways, the dataset appears to relate to past customer transactions, but investigators have not found evidence that Canada Goose's own systems were breached. The company is now investigating whether the data came from a third-party vendor or a partner in their supply chain. And folks, this is becoming all too common patterns in modern data breaches. Companies often rely on payment processors, shipping providers, analytics groups, and other customer service platforms that have access to super secret customer data. If any of those partners get compromised, well, the customer information can be exposed without the main companies ever being directly attacked. So now, if you know anything about ShinyHunters, they typically validate their claims by releasing sample data before attempting to sell the full data set. In this case, though, the posted online samples appear to match Canada Goose's customer database structure, which lends to the credibility of the claim. So, for affected customers, this means your personal information and possibly payment details are now in the hands of cyber criminals. So, if you've purchased from Canada Goose in the past, watch your credit card statements closely for unauthorized charges. You might also want to consider freezing your credit, and if you're concerned about identity theft, it's a very good call. Also, you can also check your email address to see if it appears in the breach by visiting haveibeenpwned.com. It's a free service that tracks known data leaks. The site will notify you if your information appears in this or any other breach. This incident really just highlights a growing trend we're seeing. Luxury brands are an industry vertical that extortion groups are actively targeting. Canada Goose has now joined Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Tiffany in high-profile recent fashion brand breaches. In fact, security regulators with South Korea have recently fined those three companies $25 million each for inadequate security measures. Okay, so that about wraps up today's stories, folks. This is Andy Thompson. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Have a great day.